person you represent before you begin speaking. Thank you. Roll call.
Dupierre,
Here.
Bachman,
Here.
Praski,
Here.
Laughlin,
Here.
Weddington.
Here. All right, moving on under consent agenda. We have the minutes of the regular meeting held February 10th, 2026. We have claims. We have the Ogallala Volunteer Fire Department probationary membership of Hunter Glassburn. Under Ogallala Volunteer Fire Department, we have the resignation of Michael Senyard. And appointment to boards, planning and zoning commission, 1 year. One position, Chelsea White, completing 3-year term from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. We have a motion by Councilman Laughlin and a second by Councilman Weddington to approve the consent agenda. If there's no discussion, could the council please vote?
As soon as they enter blue, hit the space bar. Hit the space bar. Wait till they're-
They're all has blue.
and it brings them- Yeah. Leaves them with this. 5 yes.
Motion carried. We have no public hearing, and under public forum, we have people service update.
Good evening, council. You all have a copy of the report. It was a busy month, as you can read in the report. I touched on this last month a little bit at the end of the month, but obviously with the lift station failing, we got that done in 4 days. That was pretty good, I thought. We did cover most of that at the meeting I was at last month. So does anybody have any more questions about that?
We ever figure out what that apparatus was?
Yes, it is a clean out for the force main that goes underneath the river.
Okay.
So you would connect a pressure line to it, go to the other side of that one, and then you would force water through it, which we're gonna start doing once we find the other one on the other side, because that one's still gone. But we're gonna find that one, because then that enables us to flush that out, because all the solids will settle on the dip going underneath. It's a clean out, basically.
Great.
That the valve was not shut on when the person did it last, they just capped it. And then the cap rotted away, so it started, and then when we put in the pumps, it blew it out. So then we just dug it up, exposed it, shut the valve.
That's a good thing. Sorry, just curious.
One of those good things, right? We
Yeah.
shut the valve. Then we had the well where they were doing maintenance on it, and the blow off was deteriorated enough that it had to be repaired. Couldn't find the valve to isolate the actual well. I mean, there's, I think, 4 or 5 valves in that area, and none of them isolated that well. So we had to have somebody come in and put a valve in live, so that we have a valve to isolate the well. Then we made the repair to the well, and also replaced the 4-inch valve in the well too. That was also bad. So we also got that done. Any other questions on the report?
As we're putting in valves and these apparatus now, we're making records of it.
They go into our diamond maps, yeah.
And what map?
GIS.
Yeah, your okay,
Yeah.
GIS, okay.
Yep. It's like you want to ask something.
You know, as I ran through here and looked, what boilers are there?
At the wastewater plant.
Are they're low pressure?
Yeah.
Steam or hot water?
Hot water.
Okay, I see you had 1 and 2, and I was just curious on.
You should come on, do a tour. Anyway,
I will,
okay,
out of curiosity.
anytime.
Says the ex-facility manager.
Well, yeah, exactly, I was looking at this stuff and I was going, generator, you must run it monthly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you touch on the biosolids for the public information?
Sure. So, with, obviously, with the compliance issues that has been here has been ammonia. And I'm gonna get a little bit deep here, just real quick, cause I have to do that to get to where I need to be. So we need to process more biosolids than we ever have before in order to keep our ammonia down to where we need it to be. And in doing that, obviously, we have to put all of that into the digesters. And there is a treatment process for the digesters, but since the digesters are in such a condition that we cannot decant properly, which is remove the water from the sludge. So that we can move it to the drying beds so that it'll dry faster, so then we can have a dry product that the farmers will come and put on their fields as fertilizer. Getting rid of the wet is a lot harder because you have to knife it in, you have to spray it on. There's a bunch of stuff that happens when you do it wet compared to as you do it dry. So as we are improving on the staying in compliance, we're also processing more, which fills up those digesters faster. Those digesters were full and we had nowhere to put it because we can't do water, decant. We can't do that properly, so we're putting very, very wet sludge into the drying beds. They don't dry fast enough in order for us to process it to fill it back up with more sludge as we're processing more through the plant. So right now we're full. Well, we filled up all 4 of the drying beds, and this time of year it ain't gonna dry. And plus with so much water content to it, it's just it's gonna take a long time for that to become any kind of solid. So we have to get rid of it. So we were looking at ways to do that. There are some options on the table, and we are looking at one that does not require land application. I'm positive about that, but I'm not gonna get too far into it because I don't have everything done yet, so I don't wanna get any hopes up, but hopefully we can just have it hauled away. And then repair what we need to repair on the digester so we can decant. And then we should be doing better at the process that we have.
Would there be any place we could take like some of the biosolids, or people could just come get them, or can they do that?
They can do that. They can come right out to the plant and take the dry. We're not gonna give them the wet because
Right.
it's not something that we should do, but well, we have a whole pile of dry out there that people can use in their gardens.
If we took a loader full to the tree dump,
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
so that they're not going, I don't necessarily want the public going to the.
Yeah,
wastewater treatment.
yeah, put it in a public place, yes. I mean,
Okay.
there are many cities that do that.
But we wouldn't get any, we wouldn't be getting any NDWEE
No.
issue. If we took like a big loader full, just put them at the tree dump, people go.
We would have to notify them and let them know what we are doing, but this happens. Multiple big.
And we have certifications with them out there anyway because of the.
Yeah,
That'd be a great idea. Get it out there where people can access it without having to wait for the.
well, there's safety, there are safety issues coming in the
Right.
plant and whatnot, so, but, yeah, we could definitely work on that. I'll get the ball rolling by contacting NWE first, just to let them know what we wanna do, and then we'll go from there.
And then I can just send the street, when next time we burn a pile, we'll have the loader at the tree dump, they can just swing out there and get a load of biosolids.
Yeah, and then you guys can, advertise it and come out and get free fertilizer. It's good fertilizer.
Yeah,
Could you add it to the grass pile to enhance what that compost is?
The only issue would be maybe Roundup in the grass clippings, right?
Well,
Potentially.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that could be a definite.
Well, and your grass clippings, all that stuff decompose differently as this does. So I'm not trying to scare anybody. I don't wanna cut, I probably. Spontaneous combustion can happen at certain points with alfalfa, with anything like that, right? So the decomposition, I'm not sure if we can mix the two. We'd have
Let
to look
people
into
mix
that.
their own.
So. Yeah, so we are actively working on getting rid of that sludge so that we can maintain the process. Currently, we are doing extremely well in staying in compliance. All of our ammonias are down low. Now that we're processing much more, but we have to make room for that. And there's times we have to stop doing that because we don't have the room. So once we get those emptied, we can fix the decanting portion of it, then we can start doing this normally, I think, anyway. I'm optimistic.
Thank you.
Right. Any other questions for Mike? Not? On to your next meeting.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak under public forum on something that is not on the agenda? Yeah, not. We'll move on to the report, city clerk treasurer, and there is none. Recommendations, departments, boards and committees. Under administration, we have an ambulance fee schedule, resolution 2324.
Mr. President, this fee increase, it keeps us in line with Medicare supplements, I believe. Medic or chief can speak to this.
Thank you.
So we're at 2 years, since we, just over 2 years since we adjusted the rates, the last time. When we first, transitioned into our new system here, we had to come up about 85% to be where we should in national averages and where we're looking to capitalize on the commercial industry. And so if anybody remembers or not familiar how Medicare rules and Medicaid rules work, is we have set federal charge lines basically. So if I pick up a patient that's a Medicare, we're only going to get X amount of dollars. We could charge $1 million. You're only going to get a set amount that's already allotted. So you can't charge more for if I give a nasal cannula or do this procedure. It's just a set rate based on those parameters. And so when you look at those rates that just came out for a Medicare patient, there it is. So just for mileage alone, for Medicare patients, $14.13, which that's the most you can get because we're considered super rural in our area. Our current, what I do with those Medicare rates as they come out is I adjust up 3 times that to capitalize on the commercial industry, which is about 12% of the offset. The rest is about 10% is to Medicaid, which is about 14 cents on the dollar on a good day. And then the rest is the non-insured. So, and sometimes those, I mean, I think there's been some payments that have been coming in over 3-4 years still that are $10 here, $1 here. And it's just something that we deal with. So, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do on the Medicare rates. We're very underpaid, and that's nationwide. They're doing a big GAD study right now across the United States on reimbursement for ambulance rates. And on average, it's over 2,000 less than it should be per ambulance service. So it's not just us that are trying to capitalize on the commercial industry. I do feel that in the future here, probably within our time running this operation, we will start seeing the commercial industry start adjusting their rates. They'll get contractual rates set so that they'll be lower. So our reimbursement rates, even in what we're charging now, are going to be way less than what we're charging. So unfortunately, that's just where the insurance world's going. So as we look at this, they came up about 8%, and that's where we adjusted for. Like I said, the initial offset was 85%, and we just fluctuated an additional 8%. If you look at the sheets that I sent out too, there should be one in there that talks about our standby rates. And if you all look at that, I recommended that we come up to an even $200 for the first 90 minutes. So it's basically a 22-cent raise per minute for that first 90 minutes. After that, it falls back into the $2 a minute for the standby rates. And the reason for that is before we've been able to kind of fluctuate some volunteerism through the Oglala Fire Department. We're at a point now where when we're staffing these, it's overtime most often than not going into this, and it's cost me about $1.33 per minute that we're putting a person on that truck. So not making money by any means, we're just trying to pad some of the offsets there.
So Jordan, I did not see that when I prepared the resolution. So can you repeat that and we can get that amended into the
Okay.
resolution before it's introduced?
Yep.
It is at the bottom.
But that's just what it was. We didn't have any changes.
Okay.
It was $2 a minute. And you said, can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah, so at the bottom of the sheet that I sent over, the recommended update should be ambulance standby in the second to last, $200 minimum for 90 minutes. And then after 90 minutes, it's $2. It's back to the $2 per minute thereafter.
Okay.
And the last one on the page is the flight teams with no patient. So the federal laws allow for basically being able to bill the services that we are providing to these air industries that are coming in. And then we also bill patients for when we are moving patients and taking care of them out back to the airport in collaboration with those flight teams. And so the flight team with no patient, what that covers is it used to be $120 that we would just charge the flight teams to move their team to the hospital and then have to take them back out. It's basically a taxi service, if you will, because there's no other way for them to get to and from. So I went up 18% on that, so we're at $140. And then anything over 10 miles. So there are times that we have a flight team come into our airport, because our airport has more capabilities. We may have to take that flight team to Oshkosh to pick up a patient. And so anything over 10 miles, then we would bill them that 14.82 a mile or 14.13 a mile after that 10 miles. So we would have the additional mileage going down to Oshkosh and then coming back to the Ogallala airport on top of that $140.
So the standby just needs a $200 minimum and then it's $2 a month.
$2 a minute to, yeah, after 92
$2
dollars.
a minute.
It'll be $200 for the first 90 minutes and then $2 a minute for anything over 90 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
That will have it reported.
Yep.
Okay. Alright.
So then we're providing services outside the coverage area, or is now Oshkosh in coverage area?
So our coverage is multi-state, so it's no different than us taking patients to Colorado for trauma care or.
Transport.
Yeah, these are just the interfacility and the movements of those patients. I put that buffer in there just for those circumstances that we may have to take those teams. We had, for example, this last summer, we had a helicopter land in Imperial. They were getting ready to take off, their helicopter wouldn't start. And so we had to send an emergent crew down there to help them move that patient then to North Platte. So they ended up getting all the mileage plus the 140 plus all the mileage going to North Platte back to here. So that's just to take care of us when we're having to move those teams around for them.
So do we recover 100% on anything outside technical Keene County then? Or are we losing money?
No, I would say, honestly, I'd rather move a team than sometimes take a patient to Fort Collins, for example. Just because you play that monopoly of, is the insurance gonna pay you or not? And if they do, how much? Whereas this is a set, this is what we've established with them. They know we're gonna bill them for this and it's accountable. So
Okay, perfect.
Any other questions for Jordan or Dave? You guys hang in there. We're getting closer on getting something sustainable, I hope. But it's been a long, drawn out battle. Okay,
Good.
we're good.
I would introduce resolution 2324 with the amendment of the ambulance standby service with a $200 minimum, then $2 per minute after that. And with the amendment of the flight team with no patient at any mileage over 10 miles at a rate of $140, then it goes to $14.13 per mile. And move for its adoption. Does that work?
I think we got it. A resolution amending the city of Ogallala ambulance fees on special fee schedule. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a resolution introduced by Councilman Dupierre and a second on that by Councilman Laughlin. If there's no further discussion, could the council please vote?
Yes.
Resolution 2324 is hereby adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
All right, moving on. Community development, KCAD office update, Mary Wilson.
Okay, Mary Wilson, Executive Director for Key County Area Development, here to give a quarterly update as required per our funding agreement. We will fly through this, and if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to stop me and ask. We are starting our business retention and expansion visits for 2026. We attended an online training through DED just to talk about a new online program for logging those business visits. We are required to conduct at least 20 of those to meet the Economic Development Certified Community qualifications for Ogallala. We do way more than that every year. We're actually going to be sending out essentially a sign-up survey for businesses who would like to request a business visit. That will be coming out in our e-news flow desk in March. And so we're hoping that we can go and visit a lot of those businesses and bring the right people along with us to have conversations that will support them in their needs. Our workforce development initiatives continue, specifically progressive business group sessions. I don't know if any of you have been able to attend some of those free workshops that we put together in partnership with Mid-Plains Community College, but Molly does a great job in putting those together. Marketing with Lana Shaw in January. We had an investment panel with Allen Capital here February 12th. And then in March, we will do the basics of starting a business with Nebraska Enterprise Fund, a tourism panel in April, and then Applied Connective, some sort of IT workshop in May. But all of these are geared towards our small businesses and they're completely free. So if you guys have some time, I encourage you to attend. Or share on social media and Facebook to encourage attendees. So looking forward to those. Molly continues her small business focus, specifically assisting with free business transitions, which is wonderful for our community. This can take quite some time, and so I'm thankful for her persistence and her support of our small businesses there.
Very quick question on that. When you say 936 small business touches, is that 936 individual businesses or is that multiple touches to the same business?
Multiple touches.
Okay.
But we can get exactly how many she's communicated with,
Okay.
if you want that number.
Yeah,
But that's multiple touches.
okay.
With still quite a few businesses,
Mhm.
but yes. Community development first impressions, Molly also continues to lead this for our office. First impressions is huge for her. This will be her fourth year doing that. She coordinates all of the downtown flower baskets for Ogallala. She is also working with Brule on some of their updates to their park. That was something that they chose to do for their first impressions project. And also coordinating some park updates in Paxton also. Having discussions with engineers, which is oh so fun. But we appreciate her work on that and kind of keeping all of these groups headed in the right direction. Wayfinding and branding, we're continuing to work on the signage piece. The branding process was about a 2-year-long process for us to get from start to finish. And we just had a call with the Nebraska Department of Transportation several weeks ago that went through kind of our phase 1 plan for signage. And so we're navigating their feedback, having conversations with sign companies to figure out what does this look like and get some cost estimates on what we want that to look like. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lengthy process also, but we want to make sure that we do it correctly, obviously, because it will be a big investment with a big impact for us. In regards to the Western Trails Creative District, Molly is working on the Oglala Veterans Art Project, in which she has secured multiple grant funding awards for, which we are very thankful for that. We're hoping that that can get started this spring, summer. And so looking forward to working with Blixt Creative Art Labs on that. They're gonna help us facilitate some of those discussions and plannings and logistics. Also, year 2 of the Swan sculpture walk across Nebraska. You'll see the sculptures getting phased out, getting replaced, probably May timeframe. They go through, they call it the sculpture draft. Every community goes through their favorite. You go through, you pick your second favorite, so that's kind of fun. But that is complete and looking forward to moving on to year 2. Gentry is back in the office, which is probably the biggest news. We're thankful to have her back from maternity leave, and her presence is definitely felt when it comes to our ER work, social media, our flow desks, all of those marketing things that I am not good at. But stay tuned for our March flow desk. You'll see come out with her spin on it, and looking forward to that. Obviously, we continue our business and industry recruitment, development, any of that assistance through those programs listed. Racing and gaming, we know that the race dates are set for July 10th and 11th, 17th and 18th. So we're working to put together a roundtable with elite and local leaders to talk about what that looks like. So Sean, Rebecca, and I are going to work to put that together. People will be invited to attend to have discussions on those logistics and their plans, and make sure that everybody's on the same page for what that looks like for those several weeks. Things are happening in the North Business Park, new businesses opening, opportunities up there, which is fantastic. Also discussions on half-cent infrastructure, sales tax ballot issue. Kevin and Steve and I are meeting tomorrow to talk about that. So hopefully we'll be on the same page about getting all of that put together. Oglala Innovation Hub project. We did receive designation for an innovation hub as far as there being a public announcement that necessarily hasn't come yet, except for right now. But there, I would assume there would be something as soon as the MOU, and Jeff, this is important. When a memorandum of understanding is put together, there will be a public announcement for that. So that's why you haven't heard anything from us. Lake McConaughey Star Wars update. I believe everyone here is aware of what happened 2 Fridays ago with the governor coming out and making that announcement. And so we haven't crossed it off the list yet, but we're close to getting that crossed off. And so very thankful for that announcement.
So Mary, tell
Yeah.
me about Star Wars. I mean, is there a Star Wars anymore, or is it?
That's, so we have a Star Wars group. Have we had a meeting as a Star Wars group? No. So those funds, that effort of putting together the plan for the marina and essentially the South Development Plan that was funded through that 56 million, that was Star Wars. So is there Star Wars?
So we got 60
Yeah.
million. Where's the other 40 million?
So that disappeared. The other 40 million disappeared last year. We had the 18 that was approved. The governor tried to veto it. That didn't work. He held it. We got 16 of that 18. So is there true Star Wars? That's essentially just the name for those funds and for those projects that we put together over the, what was it, 3-year process?
So with no funds, will this committee continue, you think, or?
It's essentially morphed into the Lake Mac Advisory
Okay.
Committee.
That's what I was looking
Yeah.
at.
And I just want to clarify, we did not, or they did not lose the
Sorry.
40 million. They never got it. The
Correct.
state never sent it.
Yeah, the state never sent it, so it was earmarked, allocated, and then swept away somewhere. Yes, thank you, Austin. Our revolving loan fund, KCAD revolving loan fund. This is a fund that we utilize to support our small businesses in Keith County with gap financing. We partner with local banks to kind of bridge that gap on some deals, whether it's for purchasing equipment, business expansions, business transitions, things of that nature. We are in the process of closing a loan, so that will leave us with about 20,000 left in that fund, which is fantastic. We currently have 3 active. This will make 4 active ones. So we've been supporting quite a few businesses since this started in 2016, 2017. Housing development continues. All of our workforce housing funds are allocated to support the construction of workforce housing. Several of those are at the drywall stage, which is fantastic, and we hope to see those funds revolve, as we do have a waiting list of about 2 applications, I think, for those funds when they come back in. So that's great. Middle school project, we're buttoning up support letters, getting some final rent data, utility information, things of that nature to support that low income housing tax credit application that's due in May for the middle school project. Working on economic development certified community renewal for September. Molly, like I said, continues to work on creative district grants. We will work on our investment campaign since Gentry's back, kind of revamping that and moving forward with that later this spring, early summer. And yeah, anything else?
I'm not saying this is a perfect fit, but maybe an opportunity. America 250 is doing a big celebration this year for America's 250th celebration. And their goal is not to do, one celebration on independence, but to try to make it a year-long activity. And so one of the things they're doing on their website is they have a map up of the whole United States, and they're encouraging communities to get on there and post events and dates. And they're trying to basically build, if you're going to travel across the US this summer, stop here, this is what's going on. Might be a good idea to see what you could do with the creative district, free advertising, get it posted on there, and maybe it draws people into the community.
Great, I'll make sure that Sean knows about that too.
I was gonna pass, yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And our downtown hanging baskets will be red, white, and blue flowers this year.
Very
So
good.
we won't have to be red, white, and blue.
America 250, and I'll send you an email tomorrow with the links to that.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
John's part of the advisory group that's already been put together for that too, so that'd be
So
perfect.
he probably knows,
Fantastic.
he probably knows about that, but I'll put it on here anyways.
Yep.
just in case.
Is there any updates on the VK Designs building?
The owners, I did have conversations with the owners. They are listing it essentially for sale. So we have their contact information. We updated our online listing on Location One Information Systems with their direct phone number.
Which building is that?
The old Bob Doors building?
And Location One is the economic development marketing tools. They list properties for economic development organizations all over the Midwest.
We have just a good central location for site selectors to go to when they're looking for their.
Sure.
Any other question?
See, you're staying busy as always.
Crucial. Kevin, we have not had you to the KCAD office to have a discussion about what we do and give you just a historical perspective on our organization, so I'll reach out to you to. I'd like to have you.
That'd be cool too, yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, questions, comments for Mary? Mary, as always,
Thank
great
you.
report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, under the Ogallala Volunteer Fire Department, the 2025 Volunteer Emergency Responders Plan Certification. Kate Wright.
Good evening. I'm Kate Wright. For those who don't know me, I am the certification administrator for the Ogallala Volunteer Fire Department. Volunteer Emergency Responder Plan, that is a mouthful. Anyway, I am certifying that there are 13 of our volunteer firefighters that have qualified, who have made their minimum 50 points to be able to receive the tax credit from the state under the state statute, and then also to receive the retirement funding. that is paid half and half by the city and then also by the rural fire district. So
There were some corrections, so this has been corrected.
there were no corrections this year. It was actually last year that the corrections were made as far
Okay.
as how the plates were cut.
Okay,
Yes.
you know what? This is the least we can do for the volunteers we have. I mean, this is. We're right on the cusp of going from a volunteer department to partially paid and then full paid.
How many,
We're really lucky.
Yes.
how many full-time members did you have in 2025?
So this year we had, so out of the total membership, we had 25 total that were listed as far as on the roster was
So you're
concerned.
low on.
So we are, it is definitely low on membership. I know that the fire, my husband is the secretary for the fire department, right? I know that they are trying to do some recruiting efforts to try to get some more people in the door. They definitely do need some help. Definitely need some younger men or women on the department to serve in all facets of the department. But yeah, those 13 have this year.
See, I think our EMS service, where it's not volunteer anymore, has taken a load off volunteer fire department. Where, they used to have to respond. That was tough, there were several of those during the day. And, unfortunately, not many employers can let their employees go, for 3 or 4 hours.
As much as some of the employees over the years have done,
Yeah.
it's a big commitment to the employers.
Yeah, we're thankful.
And to the
The
members.
department is thankful to the employers for allowing the flexibility for our volunteers to serve the
But I
community.
think our decline in numbers is unique overall. I think that's happening to all the volunteer departments across the country.
I think you're right, yeah.
Or that's what I've been told, so.
I know it used to be 30, 33, the highest we ever ran once was 35 but it's true, yeah, there's less and less people all the time.
With the EMS thing, I know that did actually cut our roster down. Like Senor is a product of the EMS being taken over more by the paid, because Mike Senor did most of the EMS calls. So we have one person who's pretty much dedicated herself to doing EMS calls on the volunteer side of that. But yeah, with the EMS becoming a paid situation now, it has definitely affected who is on the roster now, so.
Any other questions or comments for Kate?
And then the audit for this year, I will be sending, once this is approved, I will be sending this report as well as the accounting I received from Adams Bank earlier this year, over to the accounting firm and get that to you. Jane, I just forwarded you the report from last year, from the.
Thank you.
Appreciate you taking care of this, Kate.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll move to approve and certify the list of volunteers as submitted by the certification administrator as qualified participants. Yes, in the volunteer emergency responder plan of the city of Ogallala for 2025.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Lappin and a second by Councilman Dupierre to approve the plan for 2025. There's no further discussion or questions for Kate. Council, please vote.
Space. Space. 5 yes.
Motion carried.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you, Kate. All right, under planning and zoning, we have a final plat of Alvarado replat of a part of track 18, all of track 21, and all of track 22, all located in Barron's subdivision, located in the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter, section 1, township 13 north, range 39 west of the 6th PM, Keith County, Nebraska. I think Brandon's here for that.
So, this property was owned by Rod Hoppin. Henry Alvarado has purchased a lot or a tract of land from Rod to add on to his property that is already there. If you can look at that. That's kind of small, but it's right here. So there is an easement that runs up in between these two properties that you vacated last week or at the last meeting. So this pretty much is just joining 2 meetings ago. So this is pretty much just joining those two pieces of property.
Generally, where is this?
So this would be on West P, kind of where Ethel Avenue turns to gravel. It'd be on the north side of that. So it's kind of almost before you get to the school section, school section that's up there.
Yeah, this was the thing that was on our list that we just had to hold off on because that meet.
Yep.
Okay.
I'd move to approve a final plat of the Alvarado replat of a part of tract 18, all of tract 21, and all of tract 22, all located in Barron subdivision, located in the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of section 1, township 13, north range 39, west of the 6th PM, Keith County, Nebraska.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Dupierre and a second by Councilman Laughlin to approve the replat, the Alvarado replat. There's no further discussion, questions? The council please vote.
Yeah, I get it.
Five yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, give Ricky see the green. Okay.
Go for the green.
I'll go for the green.
All right, council representative liaison appointments.
Mr. President, there are some errors on the dates that been, I took this from the last time we did it and
Yeah.
they've changed some of the dates on this, so.
Yeah, I
I will
heard
get
some
the
of the,
corrected dates when.
I heard some of the committees have, or some of, the organizations have.
Chambers meeting like the fourth Wednesday in a different location, at Allen Chapel. I've got with me.
Okay.
In fact, I should get them now just in case somebody can't make.
So let's just start down from the list that Kevin has here. And Board of Health, by statute, I have to serve on that, so. Moving on to the Chamber of Commerce, I believe you agreed to serve on the chamber.
I'd like to, but I think by default it goes to you, so I wanna make sure I'm not stepping on your toes. They do meet the last Wednesday at noon.
If you want, go ahead, tweak it. I'm a new guy.
Do you want it?
I'll take, I'm not. Doesn't make much difference. I know
The fight's on that side of the table, so I agree.
I'd like to.
It doesn't make a whole lot of difference to me.
I think we should probably put Austin on there because he'd say he'd like to, so.
Alright.
Well, let's put Austin for the chamber. Keep County beautiful. Daryl is serving in that position. Daryl, do you want to continue to serve on that group?
Yeah, I'm fine with
Okay.
that.
Keep County Area Development, Kevin Block was on that. And I think Chris, you said you had an interest in that because.
Swapping out that for the library, Kevin Block and I had flip-flopped those because he wanted a term on that. I wouldn't mind going back to the KCAD side. If I can, if nobody has any objections to that, which would leave the library board, which is the next item on there.
All right, does anybody else have any interest in KCAD? Yeah, Chris will slide you to that position. Or back into that position. Thank you. Library board, again, Chris was on this.
And this is the third Wednesday at noon.
Yes.
So that means I better take that.
Okay,
It's a good one to have. They're very community oriented when it comes to activities for the kids, the school district, the amount of stuff that they just have for the citizens in the area. We're very active library board there, so I think it's a great group to be in.
And they're just meeting at the library over there.
Yep. Over lunchtime, once a month,
alright,
and Kendra's great to work with.
K2. He's got that. Ogallala Community Hospital Advisory Board. I've been serving on this. I'd like to continue because we're dealing mostly with the emergency medical service and the building that would be building. So if no one has any objections, I'd like to say on that. Under West Central Development District, Austin is on this. Are they doing anything, Austin?
If you want a meeting to not attend, that's the one to go to.
We did talk to Ed Dunn at the conference today, and I encouraged him that, you know, he needs to get better about communicating with our council liaison. And they are doing some other new program. Most of the meetings are Zoom, as he says, because his board is throughout a pretty broad region.
That meeting is maybe once or twice a year, isn't it?
It's supposed to be once a month. They're gonna try to move it to every other month. They're also trying to move it to pretty much entirely Zoom based,
I think they're required to have one.
one a quarter maybe.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So I used to be on that committee and they told me it was one meeting a year and they never even had that. What they had was an executive committee that was just doing stuff. Kevin, how about you? That one, it would give you an opportunity to Zoom the meeting. Plus it would give you, a little flavor of what's going on in the rest of the 18 county area. And they may end up in Oshkosh soon.
I think they are,
Yeah. Okay.
but I'll. And when do they, you don't know?
Don't,
Haven't said.
we'll let them know and give them your contact.
Yeah,
info.
my contact information, I think.
I can just throw in here, what I'll do is I'll send an email to Ed, CCU, let him know that you've been appointed to the board, and he'll have your information.
Okay, sounds good.
Daryl is on the Western Resource Group, which is a good fit with Keep Keith County Beautiful, so want to continue to serve there?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Rest of them just truly want.
Okay. Austin is still West Central Joint Housing Authority.
Would
You good with that?
Be happy to keep that.
And it's always fun to go to the YMCA. Chris, you still on there?
Yeah.
Now, they're putting Sean Rubik on as a voting member, correct?
Yes, he was pulled on and voted last meeting cycle. Their goal was to add additional presence. They would like to probably within the next year to 24 months, possibly even add another. We are, well, do you want to just wait and save that kind of for the update?
Yeah.
A little bit. All right, yeah, let's wait.
Oh, okay, so you're on that,
Yep.
great. Haven't heard, all I've heard are good things about the Y. So we have our slate.
Yep, would you like me to read it back or?
Yes, why
Okay.
don't you go through it?
Board of Health, would be Steve Kraske, Chamber of Commerce, Austin Dupierre, Keep County Beautiful, Daryl Weddington, Keep County Area Development, Chris Lapland, Library Board, Kevin Clockton, Ogallala Community Hospital Advisory Board, Steve Kraske, West Central Nebraska Development District, Kevin Clockton, Western Resources Group, Daryl Weddington, West Central Nebraska Joint Housing Authority, Austin Dupierre, and YMCA, Chris Lapland.
Great. Council, thank you so much for serving and reaching out to these groups. It's always good to get the feedback.
I'd move to approve the slate of appointments as presented.
Second. Oh, go ahead.
We have a motion by Councilman Dupierre and a second by Councilman Clockman. If there is no further discussion, council, please vote.
5 yes.
Motion carried. Report of city attorney.
I do not have.
Report of city manager.
I do not.
Report of council members, on the Board of Health. We had a meeting. I can't remember, it was the end of the year, January, nothing. Too serious with any type of flu or COVID or anything going around, so it was just more a perfunctory meeting. Ogallala Community Hospital and Health Foundation, they're doing very well. I did hand out this thing that says know your numbers. This is what they handed out to me. Now, I'm not gonna go through all that. Y'all have a copy. But I want to point out in 2025, Banner invested almost $3.2 million in capital improvement in the hospital and in equipment. You know, I see and I hear about, well, you know, the city is always giving this money to Banner, and Banner's the city and the hospital authority own the building. You know, and we help fund that, but Banner is picking up a lot of these costs that. So they're doing a great job for us. Let's see what else. They are going to be coming to, they're going to be reaching out to you, Kevin, to see about coming to the council in March, giving like a quarterly report or semi-annual report, a little more detail. I did hear that they're going to be bringing in some security guards because they did have a incident up there. It's, you know, it's a little humorous when they said they had the incident. You know, they call some code, and they just, that means all the big guys have to just go, and they call it the wall of meat. They said, you know, we don't know what we're gonna do other than stand between these people. So, but at least they're willing to do that. They're doing some things with this rural health transportation grant. A lot of detail on that. What I did notice is they keyed out that Banner has a $17 million payroll. Which is real freaking impressive. I mean, they're a heavy hitter in our community. And then they told of an incident where a local patient had some issues, and they went to Mayo because they thought Mayo would give them much better care. Well, this person got some other diseases at Mayo, simply because there's sick people there, I guess. And they were saying, you know, they wish they would have stayed in Ogallala because of the care they would have got here. So it's good to know we're very, very fortunate to have a hospital, and we need to do whatever we can to keep it. So that's all my report. Councilman Laughlin.
Nothing on the library board side. YMCA side, I think we did discuss, the board did vote to bring Sean Reck in to be a district board member here at Ogallala. They're hoping to possibly add another additional person within the next 12-24 months max. We are a bigger presence for them, even though we have a smaller facility. Our financial impact on their financials is pretty significant. That was one of the things they were always happy to have us on board. Being a nonprofit, they utilize their funds all the way down as far as they can, and having us there and managing the facility helps them out greatly. So I think it's a positive for not only them, but positive for us. Right now, you probably see over at the weekends over at the middle school / elementary school is the Biddy Youth basketball program that's going on. Heard a lot of positives still from that. Bringing a lot of the young kids from the high school, things like that are helping ref, so they're learning the trade, helping out the younger kids. It's kind of been a fun experience for a lot of those that have been participants with it. And then membership continues to go up steadily. It's a big plus.
I heard they're doing this bitty basketball, which my 5-year-old granddaughter is in it, and I missed her first game, but from what I hear, it's like a game of keep away. You know, the girls just love getting together and
It's, you know, the idea behind it is, you know, kids are gonna develop differently and fundamentals are gonna happen at different levels at different times. So it's giving kids a positive vision of what teamwork is and then how to play together as a team, no matter what that looks like on the court. But giving them a positive experience where everybody gets to play. You know, when they work with the refs and stuff, the refs talk to the coaches and say, hey, this is a competition ball. This isn't national championship level stuff. There's going to be the kid that picks up the ball and runs it partway half across the court. You know, there's going to be that. We're going to keep it in control, but at the end of the day, it's to keep kids interested and keep it fun. Keep it entertaining for parents to kind of watch too, but also to keep it within that idea of these are small children that are playing.
they do a good job. And there's some program they're starting at the old Armory.
Yes. I don't know all the details on that of what they're finalizing.
But the Y has become much more than the rec center, the outdoor.
Correct. I know they do visioning every year in Scottsbluff Gearing area. The YMCA, like most YMCA's out there, tend to take over and control a lot of your rec league stuff. So, you know, your youth basketball, youth football, youth soccer, youth baseball, just because they have the presence and the resources to kind of get those things off. And it's nice to have the resources at the office level to do that. Here, they're trying to introduce more of that because we haven't really had much of that. It's usually this one mom with this group takes care of this one dad over here takes care of this. This is providing the shell of the Y, which has, you know, uniforms, it has rules, regulations, and it allows for that interconnectivity with other communities. So we're hoping as a board that that continues to be driven, and just kind of depends on what people want to give up. If they're happy saying, hey, let the Y control all of this, I think the Y would more than happy to take it over as they get on. So,
They do a good job. Thank you. Councilman Dupierre.
West Central Nebraska Development District, no meetings, no updates. For West Central Nebraska Joint Housing Authority, we have not had a meeting. I have not spoken to Kelsey, so I don't have much of an update there. I will touch briefly on the LARM Midwinter Conference. While we were there, we did talk a little bit about HUD. And so HUD was awarded the 2026-2027 fiscal year. So that money has been awarded to HUD. They're going to review it and allocate it. That should be done sometime in April. Out of that will be the allocation for CDBG money. We don't know that dollar amount yet. Still waiting for the allocation on that. Last year, CDBG money in total was 1.1 billion, of which 10% or 10 million was allocated to the state of Nebraska. And so little bit there, that would kind of play in. The rest of the Midwinter Conference I thought was good. There's a lot of information. I wish when you walk in as a new guy, they would give you a dictionary that had a definition of all the abbreviations and all the jargon.
I got that. I put one together. I'll send it to you. I do have it.
You know, Lynn Rex was a joy to listen to and just a wealth of knowledge, but she talks a million words a minute and it's all jargon and abbreviations and it is tough to follow. It's dense. So.
With HUD funding, is that gonna fund the Section 8 program also?
I would assume so, yes.
Okay, that'd be good. That's hanging on by a thread. Thank you for the report. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Councilman Weddington.
Keep County beautiful. I have not attended a meeting with them, haven't got even a notice of a meeting. And then I got a notice today for WRG that they'll meet in April. Unfortunately, I was out of the country in that June.
Okay. We'll hold your space there. All right, thank you. No further reports. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
We
Second.
have a motion by Councilman Dupierre and a second by Councilman Lapp. Council, please vote.
Sleep in your own bed before,
Yeah. Haven't been home yet.
I haven't either.
Five yes.
Motion carried. We're adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
I'm ready for a real pork chop.
Not the $38 one you had?
Holy moly.